Hey, what's up everybody, TechChucker here, and today I've got a review for you of the NECA Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Wrath of Krang. I walked into my Target the day before Christmas Eve and found this guy. It was a bit of a Christmas miracle because this is the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon series figure that I have found in stores. So I am so excited to have this, but let's not waste any more time. Let's go ahead and crack this thing open and take a closer look. Out of the packaging, and this thing is very impressive. NECA did a great job on it. I have heard a few people kind of complain or note the plainness of the coloring and whatnot, but I have to say this is a very good replication of the mech suit and Krang from the show. You have to remember that this is a cartoon, so the coloring is not as dynamic as, say, a realistic one. So I think this is a very good representation for Krang and his robot suit, and it is a very big piece. So I am very happy with it, and I think NECA gave us a lot with this thing. There are tons of details. You can see all the panel lining throughout here. You've got the little vent on the back. The skin has some sculpting in the elbows, so you can see a little bit of creasing there and a crease back on the back of his neck here. Loving the colors. The red is very nice. The only thing that kind of bothers me is just the size of the feet are very small, but still it's not he still stands pretty well, even with those small feet. So with that, I think NECA did a great job. I mean, the details in here, once we get to cracking this thing open even more, you'll see they've got some control buttons on there. These little joysticks actually move in there, which is awesome. Krang comes out. So I think they did a great job on this piece. It is very detailed, but also very cartoon accurate. Let's go ahead and show you how you can get Krang in and out of his suit because he doesn't come inside the suit in the packaging. There are slots or tabs, 4 of them on each corner or edge of this thing, and you kind of have to just pry it open. And it's a little bit nerve-wracking when you do it, but this pops off. This is a really solid piece. The top part is very solid. The bottom's a little, I wouldn't say flimsy, but a little more light. But Krang just pops in and out. There is a little peg-like thing, and then there is a hole in the bottom of him, and he just sits right on there so he doesn't bounce around. And then one of these little joysticks popped out, but they're just little ball joints, and they move around. And I'm just really impressed with the idea that NECA had with this. And then you can move his tentacles around so that he can actually hold on to those joysticks, which is another great attention to detail. But just check out this little Krang. This is very well done. There's lots of nice detail on here. They've always done a great job with the paintwork on these things. The eyes look great. The teeth are painted. Even these little, I don't know what the heck those things are. Even those are painted as well. I mean, this thing just looks awesome. So he just pops right in, and you can line him up with the joysticks and then pop the top back on. I don't think that this is going to cause any problems over time. It seems like it's fairly rigid enough, but it flexes just enough that I think this will stand the test of time and probably won't wear out on you. Let's go ahead and measure him up. We'll measure obviously the mech suit, and it is coming in at the top of the tuning fork at about 9 inches, but about 8.5 with just to the crown of his head. So that's a very, very large size. Let's do some size comparisons. Here is the original mech suit Krang that we got, and the Krang that's in there he's a little bit narrower and maybe a little bit lighter pink. You can see the darker pink there versus the slightly lighter pink in that. That could be age, I don't know. And then let's throw in Shredder so you can see how he compares. Shredder, obviously much shorter than the mech suit, which is a great size comparison. I love that. Let's throw in a turtle. We've got Raphael. He's coming in very short. This is, again, the scale on this thing is very well done. I think NECA really did a good job for the collector out there so that this thing will scale very, very nicely. Let's throw in, Rocksteady here. See if he'll stand. And then we've got Bebop over on this side. If that's going to be in on the screen, put him in behind. And then April O'Neil, she's going to interview Krang. I think this is a great set. They really did a nice job with this. And then we'll put in the obligatory Deadpool so you can see what a Marvel Legends scales like with this figure. And let's check out the articulation. And for such a big figure, it really has decent articulation. So on the neck, it looks to be a ball peg, and he's able to look up that much. He is able to look down a pretty decent amount there. He can look side to side. There's no issues getting in the way there. And then he has very, very good tilt. So the neck articulation, very, very nicely done. In the shoulders, he's got ball hinges, and because of this shoulder pad, that gets in the way. He is able to rotate that, and those shoulder pads are soft, but you're gonna have to kind of bring it out to be able to have it rotate full 360, but that's not a big deal. Something I didn't note is it is a two-tone paint color, so you've got that shadowing, the cartoon shadowing on this guy, which is very cool. In the elbows, there is a single joint. Range is pretty limited. It's not even 90 degrees, but you know, it's okay. This mech suit really doesn't do a lot that is very dynamic. It does swivel at that bicep, which is nice, and then down in the wrists, each wrist or each hand has a hinge and a peg, and these have pretty good range. They can curl in that much, and then they can kind of curl up that much, which is pretty good. There is no torso articulation, but that's because of the connection here and then the little container where he's in his control area, but there is a swivel at the waist. Now there's a really big gap. That is a huge gap. But because this thing kind of has a lip, when you drop it or put it, you know, pose it how you want, you're probably not going to notice it much, but you do get some wobble. I don't think that wobble is intended to be articulation. I'm guessing that is just a QC issue there. In the hips, he's got kind of T-jointed ball joints in the hips, and that's pretty good range. That's not bad for a big guy. He is able to kick forward this much. This little waist piece is kind of soft, so as you move this forward, it will flex a little bit, but this is pretty good range. Moving back, that also is pretty good range, but it does get a little bit ugly where you can see the joint there, but you know, it's still very good. There is a swivel in the hips, and that works pretty good. Down in the knees, there's double jointed knees, and that's really good. That's a good range of motion there. There is no swivel in the knee or in the shin. Down in the ankle, there is a hinge that goes down that far, which is awesome, and then it goes forward that much, which is also really good. So I'm very impressed with that. And then there is ankle rotation or rocker. Mine feels stuck, so be careful with that. Hit it with a little bit of heat. This one's, I'm not as worried, but with any NECA figure, you really want to hit it with some heat no matter what, because you just don't want these things to break. And finally, let's go through the accessories. NECA gave us a lot. This is a great value for the money. Starting off with the extra hands, they gave us a total of 3 sets of hands. You can see these are kind of open hands. These are even further open hands, and then the hands that he's got, which are a little bit tighter of a gripping hand. What I wish they would have done is I wish they would have given us a set of fist hands as well, but you know, I'm still pretty happy with this. And then the other thing that they gave us is this tuning fork. It is replaceable. They gave us 2 of them in case you lose one, which is almost inevitable. It is very easy to swap this out. It's just a little peg hole. Pop that in, so if you happen to lose it, you have an extra just in case. Let's go through some of the weapons that he comes with, because he has a bunch of them, and he comes with these 2 little blasters, and they are painted so nicely. You can see the red tips there. There's different blues and grays, lots of different colors on here, which is awesome. And these things just peg into his hands, which is pretty cool. You have a lot of different options with these weapons that he's got, so that just pops in. It goes right into his hand there. And then he has this axe that also can peg in, and that looks pretty awesome like that. He also comes with this saw-like weapon, and it is articulated. That will spin. This also pegs into either of his hands or arm pieces. And then, even better, we get these two mace-like balls. That is super cool. And even better, these chains, they feel like they're potentially real metal. So they've got some weight to them. And these spikes are sharp. They kind of hurt when you put them, poke your fingers with them. But these will also peg into the wrists. And I gotta say, these weapons are really cool looking. I am super happy that NECA gave us all of these weapon options. The worst part about having all of these options is you can't display all of them unless you build like a weapons cabinet or something that you can have displayed. But you can't hold them all at once, which is a bit of a bummer, but I love having all of these. It is so cool. We also get 2 blueprint plans. One of these is for the mech suit itself. This is pretty cool. I really like that. And then we get this plan for the walker vehicle thing that Krang is working on as well. Those are just fun things that you can throw in your display as little Easter eggs. And then we also get this soap on a rope, and we get this shower cap. So you can pull this off, put the shower cap on. You can still fit the tuning fork through the shower cap and into his head, because he needs to have that for communication and whatnot. But then we also get a bath towel, and that is super cool. Now it's just like a piece of felt, like something or other, but you can wrap this around his waist, and it's like he just came out of the shower. This I probably will not likely be using much. Same with the soap on a rope. I'm probably not going to be displaying him with that, but it is something fun and extra to have. And that brings us to the final accessory, which is Baby Shredder. That is super cool. I don't remember the exact season this is from. I think it's the 1990 season, and it's episode 6. I forget the name of the episode, but Shredder goes into kind of like a fountain of youth sort of water, and he turns into Baby Shredder, and this thing is super cool. It is articulated in the arms. They've got little ball hinges. It's not super articulated, but it's still really fun. He bends here. The feet are not separate or anything. The head is very articulated. That is really good. And it looks awesome. It actually looks like Baby Shredder from the show. So this is, again, another one of those awesome Easter eggs that I'm so happy that NECA gave us. NECA you can tell that they love Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and they love bringing these figures to us. I just wish that we could get more of them in stock, because this is the only one that I have found in store so far. So is this a must-have? Yes. If you are a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fan, you have to have this. I hope you can find it. They had a lot in stock in stores all over the place, so hopefully you've been able to find it. If you see it, grab it. For 35 bucks, this is a great value. Let me know in the comments below what you think of this. Did you find them? Are you still searching? Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and the bell notification, and I will see you in the next video.